All right, let's get into some shit. So, let me see here. Oh, I did get that video. Okay, so Melanie King had put out a video. I'm just gonna play that, and we're gonna break that down, and we're gonna go through a couple of things that's in it. So, Elon Musk has been in talks with some people, Intel. Intel joins Musk. Now, this is April 7th today. Intel joins Musk's Terafab AI chip project to power humanoid data center goals. It says here, April 7th, said on Tuesday, it will join Elon Musk's Terafab AI chip complex project with SpaceX and Tesla to make processors powering the tech billionaire's robotics and data center ambitions. Intel's shares jumped more than 2% after the announcement. The company also posted a photo of CEO Lip Butan and Musk shaking hands, saying it hosted the world's richest man at his campus the past weekend. The announcement comes months after Musk laid out plans for Tesla to build a massive artificial intelligence chip fab to power the EV maker's autonomous ambitions and suggested the company could work with Intel. Intel's capabilities will help accelerate Terafab's goal of producing 1 terawatt per year to compute for future advances in AI and robotics. The company said in a post on social media, Twitter, Elon has a proven track record of reimagining entire industries. This is exactly what is needed in semiconductor manufacturing today. Terafab represents a step change in how silicon logic, memory, and packaging will get built in the future, Tan said in a separate post. Last month, Musk had said his rocket company, SpaceX, which recently merged, you know about SpaceX, where he plans to also go to Mars with, right? Which recently merged with his social media and AI firm at Tesla, would build 2 advanced chip factories at a sprawling facility in Austin, Texas. Now, what does this all mean, of course, right? One of the main things is that he is furthering, remember that 500, I think it was, how much money did he get from Trump? Elon Musk AI deal. Trump. How much did he get from Trump? And that was the investment, 42 cents a dollar. What's the investment he did? You know, he sold it for 42 cents on the dollar, but what was the actual? That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what it was. The $500 million, $500 billion AI project that Trump was supposed to be doing, and Elon wasn't going to be a part of it until yeah, I remember that. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. So it wasn't him and Trump. It was something that he had bashed Trump over. That's what it was. What did Elon Musk get for his deal though? That's what it was. Okay. Up to 1.25 trillion. Okay, there's the number. 250 billion. Okay. That was the 42 cents of the dollar. That was the 40. That's what I was looking for, that big number there. I know it was in the billions, but I couldn't remember how much it was. But $250 billion is what he's getting for doing all this right now. Now, like I said, what this all means right here, I know this might sound like a bunch of gibberish, but this is the humanoid project that he was doing for the robots that he plans to dish out. You know how they got the robots now in homes where you got to have the AI on, not the AI, what you call it, the virtual helmet on, pretty much the artificial augmented reality helmet on to move the robot. These robots are going to be moving on their own. as well as the vehicles and the trucks are going to be moving on their own without the power of humans. They're going to be moving around in traffic and being able to do what a human would do behind the wheel without actually having a human attached to it. And then we're doing the same thing with the trucks. They're making sure the trucks can do the same thing, so it's less semi truck or CDL workers. Then it's also going to be pretty much this is what they're rolling out for the aggressive and massive removal of human beings having regular jobs. So the AI company Intel, them doing the partnership to speed up the process on things is pretty much so he can have these robots not only tested out and being in people's homes, but so these robots are also your nurses now, your workers at McDonald's, your gas station workers, things of that nature. Little small things like that will happen until you start seeing these people in call centers, till you start seeing these people doing your taxes, things of that nature. So I want to bring up the video now with Melanie King, because they're going to show the interview of Elon Musk's girlfriend talking about the massive depopulation that's going to be happening. So pretty much they're planning a massive population wipe to happen very soon for people.
How big is the new data center campus they're building in the Texas Panhandle? It's the biggest one in the world. It will use as much power as all of the homes in the entire state of Texas combined times 2. It will use more power than 38 states.
Yeah. Overall, I think there's quite a bit of abdication of responsibility around like, what are we going to do as people's jobs start being taken fairly aggressively? Luckily, there's a massive population drop coming, so maybe everything is just fate and it's going to work out.
For her to just nonchalantly say, luckily, there's going to be a massive population drop coming. What do you mean, luckily, there's going to be a massive population drop coming? Just nonchalantly saying that. You already know about the talks of them having the newest pandemic coming out. They just don't know which one they're gonna pick, pretty much, right? They ain't got the name for it yet, but they got something coming. They definitely got something coming soon. It's gonna be the next COVID. That's gonna be something crazy. Lots of cars maneuvering around the city with no driver. Yeah, that's having the crazy thing is right now. Yeah, Waymo. Crazy thing is I had got in trouble for showing that footage of Waymo. Remember with Quincy? That was when I got cut from my live the night that Trump was getting elected. I had gotten cut on my live. And it was really because of the footage I was showing with Quincy and Waymo. It wasn't even the live footage I was showing to him. It was just the Waymo footage because he was doing an ad. So it was ad on top of copyrighted footage. So that's what pretty much got me clipped on YouTube. Anyway, so they have they in Virginia. I remember I had ordered some Domino's one time, and the Tesla pulled up with no driver in it. This is like 2018. This is like 2018, right? Tesla pulls up, no driver in it. Card machine comes out the back window. Put my card in, verifies me. Pizza comes out the back window. Card drop, turns around, regular U-turn. Drive smooth off. I'm like, excuse me. there's no guy coming up to say, hey, here's your Domino's. And, oh, thank you. Have a good night. I don't gotta get nobody a tip. Wait, what's going on here? And then I see, of course, the Waymo ad with Quincy, and he's sitting in the car and there's no driver attached to it. I'm like, then, of course, the crazy thing is in Grand Theft Auto now they have the similar thing. So it's like with the selfless driving limo. So they're pretty much predictive programming people and getting them used to these cars that, aren't going to require people. Same way they're doing the simulation now in Texas, right? They're doing beta testing in Texas Crazy how that data center is going to be in Texas. The project Matador, right, is going to be in Texas. Right now in Texas, as we showed you guys, they have the automated McDonald's. Matter of fact, let me pull up that real quick, in case you guys don't remember. This is the data center right here that they're talking about, Project Matador. This huge ass data center that they're planning. Look how big this shit is. Like y'all thought, what is it called in Terminator? Project Genesis or something like that. I think it was Genesis. What was it in Terminator? What was it in Terminator? And they had the big countdown from the big ass data center that they had to go and blow up in there. But anyway, so they have the automated McDonald's in Texas. This has no human beings working at it. Not a single one. This is who is operating everything. Kiosks, machines are making the food. Some robots with trays. Little robots are making the Frosties. Serving the food, making it. There's no human beings at this McDonald's making the food. So they already are testing things like that. People just walk in there and get their food made from a robot. Little things like that they're testing already around people. Remember I showed you guys over in was it Sweden, I think? And they got people with the RFID chips in them already. Just like I said, little things that they're testing around people already. You gotta be mentally prepared for these things already. This is why I said it's not too far fetched to where they have a fully automated city of these robots working for people, and there aren't regular people really working. It's harder for people to even find actual jobs unless you have a background in computer engineering or data infrastructure to help these robots keep working for people. Unless you are nifty behind a computer with technology, you are pretty much going to be obsolete yourself out here without a job. That is what they're moving forward with.
Okay. But I feel like we might get like very, very, very good AI across every pillar of art before there aren't any more people to make art.
So you wrote, "We appreciate power."
Yeah.
Did you guys hear this? So if you don't know, this is Grimes. This is one of Eli.
Yeah, small 15-minute cities they're doing it in, where people don't really care. They just want to, I'm saying, get their shit and go. Good point. Great point right there. They're doing it in these little cities where the people have the money. They don't necessarily have the time. They just don't necessarily care to deal with people anyway. So they don't necessarily care about customer service from a person. They just want their food and go. They order their food in the app. They go pick the shit up and they move on. Yeah, food is trash. Food is trash. It's been a minute since I ate some McDonald's, and because the last time it really hurt my fucking stomach. Like I had like sharp ass pains in my stomach from eating them fake ass burgers. So I'll be real cautious about even eating them shits now. Like I be wanting one because of the taste and that shit. I think you're just supposed to be addicted to the fucking taste of the fake ass cheese and whatnot. But that shit is not good for your system whatsoever. That shit is not good for your system at all. And you talking to a nigga that used to eat 4 McDoubles when, you know what I'm saying, years ago when I was living in Virginia. Used to eat 4 McDoubles and fries, you know what I'm saying, on lunch break. So that shit still probably taking a toll on my body to this day, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been a minute since I ate some McDonald's. It's been a minute for that reason right there.
On Musk's many baby mothers. And she is saying about AI, she is just saying this part out loud. The interviewer is just sitting there like, Not even, no follow-up questions, nothing. They're talking about AI. What if I told you what the plan is? They want massive population drop. They need it in order to enact the beast system, in order to get control over us through digital ID and everything else. Why do you think these massive data centers are popping up everywhere? And it makes no economic sense. Nothing makes sense anymore. Absolutely nothing. Like they're, I mean, not just in the US, but all over the world. And for what? It doesn't really make money. So what else would these data centers be for other than to keep our entire lives locked up in it? For Neuralink, for also, guys, understand what digital ID is and the social credit score that's coming that they want, right? To track us. That's what they need it for mass surveillance, to make sure that we are right in line, to make sure we don't do anything that is socially inappropriate. I've actually played before, or I've shown you guys before what that social credit score looks like. They've already rolled out this mass surveillance digital ID social credit score system in China, where people by the millions are just, they lose all their social credit and they're just on the streets. They're on the streets. I we've played that. But they call that Skynet, but that is not as bad as what is about to happen. But she's saying it here. They want, there's luckily there's massive population drop coming, right? And everybody is going to lose their jobs because what have they said? Elon Musk, they've all said it. The WEF, the World Economic Forum, and many other of these oligarchs and elites, they have said that there will be no more jobs by 2030. We already see AI massively taking out jobs by the millions right now. All the layoffs, all the store closings. It's happening in real time. And this isn't just about a great reset, guys. This is the new world order. But the new world order, what is it going to be? The beast system, the mark of the beast. And I even have something to show you about Bill Gates, which I unveiled. I showed you that patch technology. I think I have to do it again for people who have not seen it, which I think is the mark of the beast. It matches perfectly. Neuralink doesn't. I think that's a control mechanism that they have planned. They want to roll that out, right, for the population that's left so that they become like their slaves. But even with the war, I called it out like the first week. They are purposely hitting energy infrastructure. They are purposely hitting all of this. The petrochemical plants and the oil plants and the gas plants and even desalination, which is needed in the Middle East in order for people to get fresh, clean water because they pull in water from the ocean and then the desalination plants remove the salt and purify so that people can get water. Otherwise, they have no way to get fresh water. And we're talking about millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people, if not over a billion. The mass famines that are coming. This is all part of it. With the prices going so high here in the US, are you seeing it across the board? Groceries, gas. This is just the beginning. It is about to get much worse. But I want to show you with these data centers, like I told you, Project Stargate, which is in Texas, a lot of them in Texas, but there is another massive data center coming, and it's called Project Matador.
How big is the new data center campus they're building in the Texas Panhandle? It's the biggest one in the world. It will use as much power as all of the homes in the entire state of Texas combined times 2. It will use more power than 38 states. Not combined, but it will use more power than all of the power used in any one of 38 different states. The data center campus portion of it is, I believe, 18 million square feet. It will sit on a piece of ground that is 5 square miles. So you can drive by it for 5 miles, make a right turn, and drive by it for another 5 miles. That's pretty big. You know what the wild part is? The company building it has no knowledge of data centers. Nope, not in the data center business. Project Matador. Look it up. Thanks.
Now I want you to listen to this. Klaus Schwab just admitted the quiet part out loud. The world will no longer be run by superpowers like America, because I told you they're purposely trying to collapse America. They're purposely trying to collapse the world economy. in order, again, to bring in this new world order with these oligarchs where they rule. It will be run by the World Economic Forum and its stakeholders, BlackRock, Bill Gates, and the rest of the global elite. They're not pretending anymore. National governments out. Your freedom, a subscription service. Your future, managed by unelected billionaires in Davos. This is the great reset in real time, a corporate takeover of the planet. Wake up, push back, share this before they memory hole it. You need to wake up, but there's what are we going to do to push back? I told you this is what is always supposed to be. The Bible has clearly laid out it's supposed to get worse. How are you going to get to the beast system? How are you going to get to the Antichrist? How do we get to the end if this isn't rising? And it doesn't rise like right during the tribulation. As soon as that starts, they have to have everything ready. That's why they're rushing. That's why the war doesn't make sense. Nothing that they're doing makes sense. Like targeting energy, it makes zero sense unless it's on purpose, and that this is what the puppet masters want. The governments are not in control. They're not in control of anything at all. They're not. They just do, every government around the world does the bidding of the higher ups. Some people think it's the 13 families, but it goes higher than even that. You don't know their names. But where does it all lead to? Well, the Bible says clearly that Satan, little g, is the God of this world. He is the prince of the air. He took Jesus to the highest mountain and said, I will give you all of these kingdoms. He, Satan, in this world, this fallen world, he has the ability to give kingdoms and governments. So that means he rules them. And the Bible says this explicitly. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. These principalities and all that, they are ruled by Satan himself to bring us to an appointed end. But listen to what Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, had to say.
Who will really command the fourth industrial revolution and its technology like artificial
Saint
intelligence?
Patrick,
What's your sense of who's best placed at this time to lead the world into the fourth industrial revolution? Because you pretty much created this term. We're seeing the kind of technological strides that China has made with Huawei, with the 5G technology. Do you believe that this could potentially be China's time once again?
We should make here again let's say a differentiation. On the one hand, we have state capitalism. On the other hand, we have shareholder or private capitalism. So it's a clash between two systems. I believe that state capitalism in the short term provides certain advantages because you can mobilize in a concentrated way a lot of resources to reach a specific objective. But I believe that the future is not state capitalism or shareholder capitalism. The future is what I call stakeholder capitalism, which is combined with a social responsibility.
And if you don't,
Pretty much what he's saying is they're going to cut, as they've always been talking about, right? Cutting out the middle. Pretty much there's no more going to be middle class. There's only going to be rich class and a poor class. So that's why he's saying it's what's going to be the biggest stakeholder at the end of the day. It's pretty much going to be on a capitalist basis, and it's going to be so much easier to be on a dictatorship monarchy than anything when you have that type of infrastructure. So they're pretty much just making it easier to control us through having the AI technology. That's why they are dumbing us down now through the technology and making us want things faster, making us want things easier and accessible through AI. Even with AI programs like ChatGPT, ChatGPT is able to, come up with whole blueprints for people, video prompts to make movies and things like that. Movies are even being replaced by AI, trailers and things like that. People are making their own movies and getting millions of views off it just off the use of AI without regular people being in it because they have the licensing to do it now. So, like I said, they're pretty much using predictive programming right now just to get you mentally prepared to be, accepting of what is the coming the future right now. That's the importance of tonight.
No, I've reported this. Well, Bill Gates, I don't know who's put him in charge, but clearly he's in charge of a lot of this.
Oh, that part, Dainty Delighted. That part right there. It's humans in the food. There's humans in the food that we eat now too. There's humans in the food we eat.
Well, he said that by 2028, if you don't have digital ID, well, you can't function in society. You'll be an outcast from society, just like they have in China. But we know it will grow worse and worse and worse. I've shown you where in Vietnam, 90 million people's bank accounts were confiscated by the government because they did not comply with digital ID. And that is rolling out right now in massive waves all around the world in Western countries and specifically here. This is what they want. But look at this. Bill Gates is calling for biometric identification for all Americans so they can fully participate with the economy. Gates is also creating digital public infrastructure to connect society and combat climate change. Would you sign up for biometric digital ID? Well, there's going to be a point where you don't have a choice. You don't have, they want everything wrapped up, meaning this one world government, this system in place by 2030. That's why everything's moving really, really fast. And this is why I tell you we're in the last days. It all points to it. It all points to it, not just with what they're doing, but the signs in the sun, moon, and stars, which are happening in mass around the world as more people are waking up and the veil is lifting. But then this just popped up while I was looking at this. It says the government, guys, approves construction permit for Bill Gates backed TerraPower commercial nuclear reactor. Bill Gates is in charge of nuclear power. What could possibly go wrong? Now, this is an article. Maybe I'll read it in another one. But yeah, they seem to be giving him a lot of power, a lot of everything. And why is that? Why is he getting approved? Why hasn't he been jailed? Why hasn't Fauci been jailed? Why hasn't anyone from the Epstein list? You have to open your eyes and see what is going on. No one's going to jail. No one's getting um going to be held accountable. And then people are saying, "Well, we're going to vote different. The midterms are over, are going to be, terrible for Republicans, and this, that, and we're going to put in a new like Congress or Senate. There's really going to be voting. Do you really trust the system, the same one that gave us NASA, the same one that gave us the Epstein list, and many other lies that I can tell you about our entire history? You have got to wake up. This is not the time. They have built so many layers into this. It is impossible for this to be voted out or protest. People aren't even paying attention. I'm seeing this all over. People are just like they'll talk to friends or they'll talk to coworkers.
So here's the thing about that, right? Think about the guy that wants literal depopulation, the guy that caused allegedly COVID-19 itself, let alone invested in the vaccines of it, let alone invested in the power plants that aided to, or should I say, caused Cancer Alley. God bless to the homie King Ozma for putting me onto that story. The guy that was responsible for Cancer Alley, the guy that was responsible for COVID, the one that wants the population to decrease as fast as possible, he's now in charge of nuclear power. He's now in charge of one of the most powerful of our weaponry. Is a nuke. He's in charge of it. We are fucked.
And people have no idea. Some people don't even know there's a war going on. I kid you not. But they're all allowing everything to happen left and right, every government. No one's doing anything. And you have to start asking why. This is not a coincidence. This is on purpose. My goal is to wake enough people up before this is all over, before Jesus Christ returns in the clouds and the tribulation comes. The writing is on the wall. The veil is lifting. Even with NASA, people in mass are just saying, none of this makes sense. This looks like a hoax. This looks fake, just like the original moon landings, because it all is. It's all propaganda. They have, through the public school systems, through indoctrination, through telling us about the American dream, From early childhood, this is what we're supposed to believe in. We're supposed to believe in our rights. We're supposed to believe in a due process. But are you seeing now that there is no due process? And for a long time, if you were to speak like this, well, you were considered a crazy conspiracy theorist wearing a tinfoil hat. Well, that those times are quickly fading away. Now, this is my shop, my merch shop, realmelanieking.com. This is one of the ways that you can support the work that I have going on here. But I want to show this. I've
I ain't
showed it
gonna
many
hate,
times. I have it
appreciate.
for men and women in different colors.
I ain't gonna hate, appreciate. She put us on some shit. I might as well let y'all see her merchandise site. Plus, we do have the merch coming soon. I am working on the website for y'all. I'll show y'all that in just a second here. I'm gonna let her do her thing real quick though.
But this is the new world order map. You see COVID, 5G. And now, I don't know if you heard, I did a report last year. Trump announced, talked about 6G and how it can see through walls, guys. And that now they can actually change DNA and put things in you through the 6G towers. Yes, that is coming.
So the crazy thing is, the reason why I'm leaving letting this show is because it would be very good and it would be smart. I'm gonna get one of these. It would be good to have this tea for when shit goes down, so that you have some type of blueprint that you could have in your clothing. You know what I mean?
says COVID, 5G, Gates, the WHO, FDA, CDC, NIH, AMA, China, guys, the World Economic Forum, the global vaccine programs, Monsanto, right? You have depopulation, which we talked about, AIDS, the Cold War, cancer. I can't even see it right now, guys. So cancer in Frederick, Maryland. Okay.
The processes that we've been explaining here on this pod pretty much is all on this shirt. The entire process of Project 2025 to all the way to Project 2030 is all on this shirt right here.
I'm from Maryland, guys. Agenda 2030, the hospitals, the election, a landslide, mail-in ballots, the second wave, enslavement of humanity, right? Gold back currency, all of this. It's not every single thing, but it gives you an idea of what they have been doing behind the scenes throughout the years, working step by step to put this in place. Guys, how are you going to protest and resist this? And it's not that I don't want to. I've just been researching the everything that ties to biblical prophecy that's happened in the news in the past few months, going back to last year, and I just could not believe it. They have set the trap. The beast system is set, and this is what they always wanted. So this is a great way for you to, have this in front of you. Start conversation, show people, study it. Again, this is my men's version. I have that on the front and on the back. Believe your eyes, not their lies. Different colors. And like I said, also for women, I'll show you that really quickly. This is the New World Order map, which is different than the conspiracy map, which is the Great Awakening one. So again, this one is front and back, and you can see the different colors there. Now, another way that you can help support this work is by donating. I have that now on my website, but as well as you can just become a member here on the channel. It's just a couple bucks a month, and it helps support the work. And outside of that, you guys have been donating through Cash App, through PayPal. I appreciate it so much. It helps me out. But all of the links to all of this will be below in the description box. Make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell because I have a lot.
Yeah, see, that's why, like I said, I don't. Come on, camera, I said, I don't hate, I appreciate. She put us on the information. Same way I put you guys on the information. So definitely treat yourself to some information that will help you guys in the long run. Because, like I said, that right there is everything that we all talk about here on the pod already. That pretty much is something that you could keep with you as a blueprint for when shit goes down and you're no longer to access this information that we have here, that we share here on the pod, that we're no longer able to build with. When the time comes and we're no longer able to have these discussions because we're not allowed to necessarily publicly, it's good to have access to these things so that you can have your own blueprint for yourself in the coming future. You know what I'm saying? So, another thing was, what we're upon right now is Nostradamus' prediction of World War III. And I did find something on that as well that I wanted to share with you guys real quick.
Saint Padre Pio is said to have made many prophecies during his lifetime. Some of these prophecies have been documented while others have been passed down orally. However, nothing could have prepared us for one of the scariest prophecies that he made throughout his lifetime, and this was the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness. What could this prophecy possibly be?
Now, I want to also put context to this and prepare you guys mentally, because what he is saying in this video, this was done 2 years ago. Let's say it again. This was done 2 years ago.
Why is the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness a scary revelation? Join us as we take you through the scariest prophecy made by Saint Padre Pio that has shocked the world. Before we delve into the topic of our video, let's see who Padre Pio was for a better understanding of what is to come. Padre Pio, born Francesco Forgione, was an Italian priest who lived from 1887 to 1968. He was a Capuchin friar and is considered a saint in the Catholic Church. He was born to Giuseppe and Gratius Forgione in a small town known as Pietrelcina, Italy, on May 25, 1887. He was from a poor family of farmers. He had shown interest in religious life and entered the Capuchin order at the age of 15. He was ordained a priest in 1910 and was assigned to the town of San Giovanni Rotondo. In 1918, Padre Pio began to experience the stigmata, a phenomenon that couldn't be explained by anyone and still stands as a mind-boggling event. The stigmata that appeared on Padre Pio's body were the 5 wounds of Christ that were inflicted on him during his crucifixion. These wounds appeared on Padre Pio's hands, feet, and side, and they were reportedly accompanied by intense pain. The stigmata is a rare phenomenon that's been reported in the lives of other saints and mystics throughout history. There is no scientific explanation for the stigmata, and it's often seen as a sign of great holiness and spirituality.
Crazy thing is they made a movie about that shit like it was a curse too.
These wounds bled periodically and never got infected, even though they kept bleeding and the wounds smelled of roses. The wounds would heal on their own but reappear after a few days or weeks. However, these wounds were not visible to everyone, but they were authenticated by the church. The stigmata became a source of great devotion for many people, and he attracted pilgrims from all over the world. What made him stand out the most was the final warning he gave everyone about the 3 days of darkness that are about to come. How important are these revelations? Should we be ready for the worst times of our lives? Let's find out soon. And trust me, you'll want to pay close attention now because these answers may surprise you. Padre Pio wrote a personal letter to the Commission of Heralds Bach, which was appointed by the Vatican. In the letter, Padre Pio testifies to the truth and reality of the revelations that he received from our Lord. He described his spiritual life and the graves he received from God, including the gift of the stigmata. This is what he wrote in his letter. My son, I have been longing for this hour in which I shall reveal to you the great love of my heart. Pray and make reparation to me. Admonish others to do the same, because the time is near at hand in which I shall visit my unfaithful people, because they have not heeded the time of my grace. Persevere in prayer, so that your adversary shall have no dominion over you. Tell my people to be prepared at all times, for my judgment shall come upon them suddenly and when least expected, and not one shall escape my hands. I shall find them all. I shall protect the just, watch the sun and the moon and the stars of the heavens. When they appear to be unduly disturbed and restless, know that the day is not far away. Stay united in prayer and watching until the angel of destruction has passed your doors. Pray that these days will be shortened. Pray, make reparation. Be fervent and practice mortifications. Great things are at stake. Pray. Men are running towards the abyss of hell in great rejoicing and merrymaking, as though they were going to a masquerade ball or the wedding feast of the devil himself. Assist me in the salvation of the souls. The measure of sin is filled. The day of revenge with its terrifying happenings is near. nearer than you can imagine. And the world is seeping in false security. The divine judgment shall strike them like a thunderbolt. These godless and wicked people shall be destroyed without mercy, as were the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah of old. Yes, I tell you, their wickedness was not as great as that of human race today. Keep your windows well covered. Do not look out. Light a blessed candle which will suffice for many days. Pray the rosary. Read spiritual books. Make acts of spiritual communion, also acts of love which are so pleasing to us. Pray with outstretched arms or prostrate on the ground in order that many souls may be saved. Do not go outside the house. Provide yourself with sufficient food. The powers of nature shall be moved, and a rain of fire shall make people tremble with fear. Have courage. I am in the midst of you. Take care of animals during these days. I am the creator and preserver of animals as well as man. I shall give you a few signs beforehand at which time you should place more food before them. I will preserve the property of the elect, including the animals, for they shall be in need of sustenance afterwards as well. Let no one go across the yard, even to feed the animals. He who steps outside will perish. Cover your windows carefully. My elect shall not see my wrath. Have confidence in me, and I will be your protection. Hurricanes of fire will pour forth from the clouds and spread over the entire earth. Storms and bad weather, thunderbolts and earthquakes will cover the earth for 2 days.
We are starting to see those signs, aren't we?
An uninterrupted rain of fire will take place. It will begin on a very cold night. All this is to prove that God is the master of creation. Those who hope in me and believe in my words have nothing to fear, because I will not forsake them, nor those who spread my message. No harm will come to those who are in the state of grace and who seek my mother's protection. That you may be prepared for these visitations, I will give you the following signs and instructions. The night will be very cold. The wind will roar. After a time, thunderbolt will be heard. Lock all the doors and windows. Talk to no one outside the house. Kneel down before a crucifix. Be sorry for your sins and beg my mother's protection. Do not look during the earthquake, because the anger of God is holy. Jesus does not want us to behold the anger of God, because God's anger must be contemplated with fear and trembling. Those who disregard this advice will be killed instantly. The wind will carry with it poisonous gases, which will be diffused over the entire earth. Those who suffer and die innocently will be martyrs, and they will be with me in my kingdom. Satan will triumph. But in 3 nights the earthquake and fire will cease. On the following day the sun will shine again. Angels will descend from heaven and will spread the spirit of peace over the earth. Feeling of immeasurable gratitude will take possession of those who survive this most terrible ordeal, the impending punishment with which God will visit the earth since creation. How unconcerned men are regarding these things, which shall so soon come upon them, contrary to all expectations. How indifferent they are in preparing themselves for these unheard of events, through which they will have to pass so shortly. The weight of divine balance has reached the earth. The wrath of my Father shall be poured out over the entire world. I am again warning the world through your instrumentality, as I have so often done heretofore. On that day, as soon as complete darkness has set in, no one shall leave the house or look out from the window. The darkness shall last for 3 days, and on the 3rd night the stars will shine again, and on the next morning the sun shall rise again, and it will be springtime. In the days of darkness my elect shall not sleep, as did the disciples in the garden. They shall pray incessantly, and they shall not be disappointed in me. I shall gather my elect. Hell will believe itself to be in possession of the entire earth, but I shall reclaim it. Again and again I have warned men, and often I have given them special opportunities to return to the right path. Now, wickedness has reached its climax, and the punishment can no longer be delayed. Tell all that the time has come in which these things shall be fulfilled. These warnings were given to Padre Pio by none other than our Lord Jesus Christ. You should know that Padre Pio was not the only one who received this revelation. The prophecy is said to have originated with the Blessed Virgin Mary, who appeared to several saints and mystics over the centuries, in which include Anne Catherine Emmerich, Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, Blessed John Bosco, and Saint Faustina Kowalska. My dear friends, the Great Tribulation cannot be explained better than this. So, what do we do now? Like Padre Pio said, we must have confidence in our Lord Jesus Christ and return to the right path before it's too late.
So here's the weird thing about this little video here, right? I had to turn my camera off that because I wanted everybody to focus on that. Here's the weird thing about this. Now, I don't want to sell y'all a tale, but when I was looking for Nostradamus' prediction, I came across the video and it said this on the title, right? Got 2.7 million views. Now, I'm hoping this wasn't one of the ones they changed the thing to where it says April 26th, or did it change it to the next month, or whatever have you. But that was what made me show you that. And why this world is so crazy, I don't know. I really don't know. I really wish it was not. I really wish it was not. Now, Nostradamus chilling drone in 7-month World War III prediction for 2026. The 16th century prophet Nostradamus made chilling predictions in cryptic quatrains, including a 7-month war and a swarm of bees. Talking about the drones, of course. Famous seer and prophet Nostradamus has made a chilling prediction about a devastating drone war in 2026. The 16th century prophet predicted multiple alarming incidents, including a 7-month war and a great swarm of bees, with many people now claiming the bees are in fact drones used in warfare. Nostradamus composed his predictions in mysterious quatrains which contain the destiny of global events, many featured in his 1555 work. That's how long ago this was. The prophecies, which included no fewer than 942 quatrains. Now, he has had some predictions that has come true, including World War I and World War II. There were some little facts that he got wrong, but the actual wars and how they actually played out were actually true. So among Nostradamus' bizarre predictions, one passage reads, "The great swarm of bees will arise by the night ambush. Some suggest this fate will be upon us soon, with the passage correlating to the number 26. It remains uncertain what the bees might be, as it appears unlikely that an enormous bee swarm could cause genuine damage through ambush. However, what is likely is drones using the cover of night to strike a target. Moreover, there is even a type of bee called the drone. Bee male members of the colony tasked with mating with female bees. As Nostradamus was unlikely to have been able to predict the technological overhaul that leaves the 16th century unrecognizable, it is arguable these bees would always be metaphorical. Some believe the bees also speak to resurgence of a powerful political leader securing major victories. Supporting the drone theory is Nostradamus' prediction of a great war. The specific quatrain reads, 7 months great war, people dead through evil, ruin Everex, the king will not fail. With much of modern warfare carried out by drones, it seems these two predictions go hand in hand. It's easy to connect this verse to the Russia-Ukraine war of the Middle East conflict and escalations from Iran. Some claim Nostradamus predicted warfare before, with his line, "Within 2 cities there will be scourges, the like of which was never seen." This supposedly predicted the atomic bomb America unleashed on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki at World War II's end. A third prediction is that Switzerland will be drenched in blood. This forecast is particularly chilling and can be tied to a precise modern-day location. Nostradamus' verse reads, "Because of the favor that the city will show, The Ticino will overflow with blood. Switzerland's stunning Italian-speaking Canton faces a grim and bloody outlook. The bloodshed could signify a mass casualty event, a plague sweeping through the region, or some form of natural disaster. Skeptics contend that Nostradamus wrote his works in Middle French, deliberately employing vague Latin expressions. Nostradamus' countless manuscripts, transcription errors, and differing interpretations of his writings across the centuries make it exceptionally difficult to establish what the prophet genuinely had even meant. Now, speaking of that, also, same thing here. Baba Vanga's World War III and Nostradamus' 7-month global war prophecies return amid the Iran. So Baba Vanga also had a similar one. Baba Vanga and World War III, the blind Bulgarian mystic predicted a major global conflict in 2026. The Iran-U.S. conflict is being seen as the war she foresaw, with believers sure that once again Baba Vanga made a correct prediction. The Middle East is burning after Israel and the United States launched joint attacks on Iran. Tehran retaliated by carrying out strikes against the UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. The latest conflict has renewed fears that his could be the beginning of World War III. Bulgarian mystic Baba Vanga had apparently warned that the year 2026 could witness a global war. Could Middle East conflict trigger World War III? The Blink psychic saw visions in her dreams, which became the basis of the prophecies attributed to her. One of them is believed to be about a war that will start in the east and spread to the west. The Middle East is in the grips of a major conflict that could witness more upheavals. With Iran, Israel, U.S. locked in a conflict, people can't help but wonder whether Baba Vanga's prophecy could be coming true. United States President Donald Trump ordered the strikes on Iran. The West is divided into two camps following the joint military strikes on the Iranian regime. While the U.S. calls it a necessary preemptive measure, many European allies are concerned that the lack of coordination poses the risk of a wider regional war. Baba Vanga also talked about a war in Europe. Some of Baba Vanga's followers believe that the mystic also talked about a war that would start in Europe and lead to a significant decline in the population. There goes the mass population wipe. Trump has said that the Iran-U.S. conflict could last at least 4 weeks. This could lead to other countries getting involved, especially since Iran is also attacking countries that house U.S. military bases. Nostradamus predicted a 7-month war. French psychic Nostradamus is also said to have predicted a great war in the year 2026. One of the passages from his book reads, 7 months, great war, people dead through evil. Ruin Everex, the king will not fail. This prophecy is also being linked to the U.S.-Israel-Iran conflict. The current situation explodes, it continue for months. Baba Vanga saw the rise of Putin as a world leader. Baba Vanga's other prophecies for 2026 includes a shift in world dynamics, owning a major world conflict. She reportedly foresaw the rise of Vladimir Putin as a world leader after the West collapses. We still have the Ukraine war that refuses to end, with Israel and Gaza also involved in a military and political conflict. Now, remember I showed you guys that video a couple months back. You heard it. China has robot bees. Well, like I said, that's like I said, also what do you call it? Interpolation drones. That's also pretty much an interpolation drones as well. Having a robot bees, it's drones. What was I gonna say? So the video we showed a couple months ago was Putin pretty much talking to in an interview. He was saying that the West will fall. Pretty much the celebration of Satan is done, and the West will fall. The party is done. Remember, he had said that in but so many words. So I see now where that prediction is even coming into play. And I kept saying to myself, what if Putin is the Antichrist? Especially with the way he looks and him being part of the bloodline, one of the key parts of it, I said to myself, or him not being part of it, I should say, but having his own little thing having his own bloodline, I should say, not the Illuminati bloodline, but his own little bloodline going on. And pretty much he wants to take over power. Once the West pretty much crumbles through the war, him pretty much just swooping in and taking over things. You know what I mean? So I'm saying to myself, what if Putin is the actual Antichrist here? That's what I'm starting to think now. Putin might be the actual Antichrist. Nostradamus predicted the rise of the new world leader. Nostradamus also wrote, "The great swarm of bees will arise by night, the ambush." This prophecy has been linked to Trump and Putin, hinting that the two will register major wins in 2026. However, another prophecy is about a new world leader. Shadows will fall, but the man of light will rise, and the stars will guide those who look within, he wrote. So, pretty crazy how the predictions now, and I remember looking at this prediction from Nostradamus, I want to say about when I was living in a hotel at the time. This is about 2014. It's about 2013. 2013, I was living in a hotel. So between 2013 and 14, I remember looking at this stuff on my laptop. And so we're talking about 13, 14 years ago now. I remember looking at the same predictions of Nostradamus talking about World War III and when the U.S. attacks Iran. When the U.S. attacks Iran, that's when World War III would commence. I remember looking at that exact prediction 13 years ago. So that's when we bring it up this evening. Is once again, I'm going to keep saying it. 13 years ago, I remember looking at the predictions in the videos of Nostradamus literally talking about a war. World War III will start when U.S. attacks Iran. That was the specific prediction. When World War III will start with U.S. attacking Iran. This was 13 fucking years ago. That's what made me say this was probably one of the most important lives that I did tonight. Was because, like I said, this is something that I saw 13 years ago from someone that made a prediction in 1550 fucking 5 about the year 2026. Now I want to see something real quick. It's just me going off it. Okay, so this makes sense. This aligns with Project Bluebeam. How pretty much they're going to unite all the religions and put everything into a one world government. It says right here in Masonry 26 is primarily associated with 26th degree, Scottish Rite, Prince of Mercy of Scottish Trinitarian, focusing on divine wisdom and universality of deity. It is also linked the number of God in Hebrew, Gematria 10565, and represents the 26 characters in the Masonic cipher, 26 alphabet. Yeah, 26 letters in the alphabet. So full cycle, pretty much, the alphabet, 26. 26 degree Prince of Mercy. This degree teaches that the Trinity of deity belongs to no single religion, emphasizing the Masonic truths are found across the world's religions. The degree focuses on the Masonic Trinity of wisdom, power, and harmony, often symbolized by the colors green, red, and white. Oh. 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 Um, that was on the fly too. Okay. So yeah, that number 26 is very symbolic to what's going to happen this year, and everything keeps pointing at April. Everything keeps pointing at April. Bluebeam was scheduled to happen last year in April in 2025, and they missed the date because the war didn't happen yet. The war has to happen first. And the crazy thing is the Civil War is supposed to happen first before the World War. So I'm wondering now if the Civil War is going to happen after the World War. And then we're going to get Project Bluebeam. I'm wondering if they're going to just reverse things. Because if you want chaos out of order, it would be easier to have, especially if people don't necessarily genuinely care about the war, but they care about their own selfish ways. It would make sense that the World War would happen first. And then you cause the Civil War to offset it from the World War. You cause the Civil War to happen amongst the people. And then the Civil War happens amongst, after it happens amongst us, it happens with the government and us trying to overthrow the government. That's when Project Bluebeam will strike. When we're at our lowest point of energy, that they'll attack us. So, in recent news, because what was supposed to happen tonight was the bombing of Iran, right? But Trump pauses Iran strikes for 2 weeks to negotiate 10-point peace. He said earlier, let me see if I can bring up that tweet real quick that he said. Crazy how the president said this. Said a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, remember that thing about the king will fail? Maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. Look at that. He says this: 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people. God bless the great people of Iran. Pretty much he was threatening to commit war crimes and wipe out a whole civilization all because he started a disastrous war of his, this is Kamala Harris, of his own making, and had no plan, no strategy how to end it. This is apparent. The American people do not support this. Trump's recklessness is necessarily putting our brave service members in harm's way, destroying America's global standing and making life even more unaffordable for the American people. We must all stand against this and oppose funding this illegal war of choice. Like I said, the war is going to offset the Civil War. The war is going to offset the Civil War with us. Keep that in mind. This World War III is going to offset the Civil War amongst the people. When the people can no longer afford things and are outside looting and purging pretty much because everything is unaffordable. We've attacked Iran. Gas prices have went up. Everything has gone up. Nothing is affordable now. Pretty much everybody is against each other. And then after everybody is against each other, we then try to overthrow the government. All that is going to be happening very, very quickly in the next coming months. Say it again. As you just saw, 7 months of things. Within the next coming months, starting now, things are going to be ramping up very, very quickly. It's going to get a little bit crazier than you can imagine out there. I'm predicting probably by around November, December, we start to see the real magnitude of this. Not that Project Bluebeam is going to happen in November, December, but we're going to see the true strength of what this chaos out of order is going to come to coming into the next year of 2027. Because by 2030, they want all of this done. So over these next 2 years, we are going to see a lot of crazy shit happen. Not even forget, I don't want to say it like that, but aside from the fact of these scientists suddenly just disappearing, people that worked on UFO technology, people that had information on where certain things was, the Stargates, the city in Antarctica, the city over in near Jerusalem, that's built for us over there when shit goes down over here, where they plan to migrate us to when shit goes down over here because of the war with Iran we took on, because we're no longer able to stay over here. The big data center that they're building in Texas, that's still going to be around. You know why? Because someone has to take on the smart cities that they're developing while we're over away. There's going to be a giant smart city being made right in front of our eyes. By 2028, like I said, throughout 2026, shits get crazy. 2027 is where they start to implement the dictatorship and monarchy for us. In 2027 is where they start the dictatorship, because they're already starting to let you know that certain laws, certain amendments don't even matter anymore. If you haven't noticed, certain things just don't matter anymore. So when they don't matter anymore and they're able to just do what they want and tell you what they want, a la the Epstein files, just tell you what you want. Yeah, you can go ahead, look at them. You don't care about the shit no way. Go ahead, look at them. Look at all of it. We ain't put everything in there no way, but go ahead, look at all of it. You don't care about it soon anyway. That's how they're laying it out for you, so that you won't even have a care. That's why it's a breakdown in a war on. It's a war going on outside. No man's safe, because it's a spiritual war. It's a war on our energy to pretty much dwindle it down to where they can control us easier and easier. And like I said, it all starts with everything going on this month. It all starts with everything going on this month.